Rant summer is here. Head on over to ajsrantroom.com. We got all of your summer needs covered. From bathing suits to swim trunks, flip-flops and tote bags, towels, tanks, and muscle shirts. Oh, and you can't forget about the visors and the hats. It's lit. So head on over to ajsrantroom.com and get your summer poppin'. You won't be disappointed. It's always lit over at ajsrantroom.com. We got the best bags and accessories, our beloved Black Series. We got fresh lids for you hat lovers, fire jackets and hoodies, and of course we got you covered on the t-shirts. And introducing our first shoe line, Aloysius Germain. So get on over to ajsrantroom.com today and get to shopping. You won't be disappointed. When I was young, I never needed anyone. And making love was just for fun. Those days are gone. How do everybody? Happy Wednesday. Hope all is well in your world. Welcome to the Lunchtime Rant with AJ. Hope all is good in the hood. We got a lot to unpack today, so I'm gonna just get right into it. Usually, I give a couple minutes for people to get in here, but we good. So let's talk about it. Are we on the cusp of weapons of mass destruction 2.0? Scrap everything I said yesterday in yesterday's installment. Where I trust Trump and Trump. What the hell are we? What's going on here? So the latest is you're considering strikes on Iran. You got planes in the sky in Iran. This is not what we talked about. This is not what you campaigned on. Now you got warmongers like Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz out on the beat. Yeah, let's get them, boys. No. You ran on no new wars, Trump. No new wars. And this is a war we got no business being in. We have no business sending our men and women out there. We have no business. What is this unhealthy allegiance to Israel? Huh? What is the unhealthy allegiance to Israel? I'm a little confused here. This is a lot going on. Then you're attacking Tucker Carlson for rightfully critiquing you. I don't know. Sometimes this is where I say political immaturity exists on all sides of this conversation, because politically mature people understand that you can support someone and critique them at the same time. In fact, it is the criticisms that build the person up to prevent that person from making a possibly catastrophic mistake. Right? So if you send our men and women into a war zone we got no business being in, that's the first order of business. Then there are mass casualties. That's something you promised wouldn't happen. And then why are we there? Oh, because now you're going against your director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard. Now what she testified to is disregarded, and you're just going to do what you want. That's not how that works, buddy. This is where we hold Trump accountable, y'all. And to the Laura Loomers of the world and the fans and the people who run around here talking about, if they're critiquing Trump, make sure we take screenshots and make sure we collect the videos so we can. This is not a Rihanna fan base. This is not the Beehive. This is not, what does Nicki Minaj fans call us? The Barbs. It's not the Barbs. This is an American president. You have the right to critique your president, even if you voted for him. So to call him out on something he campaigned on, this was part of the bedrock of his campaign. This is not something we made up. This is not, he got into office and was like, yeah, so I'm going to do this. And it's like, I know I didn't talk about it much on the trail. Yeah, this was part of the bedrock of his campaign, was peace through strength. That's it. And no new wars, because he understands that war is big business. War also produces mass casualties on all sides. And the things that we're jumping in on, I wish I had the video where he spoke, so where he was in he was in that debate where he was just basically, he made it very clear we had no business ever being in Iraq. We had no business ever being there. Weapons of mass destruction, weapons of mass destruction. And then we found no weapons of mass destruction. Now you have your director of national intelligence literally saying to you, we have no proof that Iran is building a nuclear weapon. Oh, but now there's this, secret place where possibly nuclear weapon is being built. We're not buying it again this time. No. Because you could best for damn sure if Iran had a nuclear weapon, they would have used it already. Am I wrong? I mean, we gonna wait and see what Israel do? No. This wasn't in the plan, and I don't know what changed course here, but I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So I stand with Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Candace Owens. Yeah, that's where I'm falling in line with more in terms of the thought process, and also seeing how we got to this point where we are now on the cusp of this. Because if you look back, remember it was like Iran's has a plot to assassinate Trump. Okay, cool. Stay woke. We got that. We understand that. Um, and then you look at the events of October 7th in Israel. And I'm reading up on the IDF. Thank you, Candace Owens, by the way, because I started to look into what we're not, the information we don't get here. I started to look into in their papers, right? So what how do they report the news actually in Israel? So I went and looked. Totally different than what they sell us here in the West. Totally different. So I'll put some links to some of the Israeli papers that I looked into. The names, look, I'm still getting in on the names. I'm not even going to try to pronounce stuff right now because I will debaucher it in it ain't my first language. It ain't my second and will never be my third, I'm sure. But it's good to sort of look into how news is reported here versus how news is reported there, right? And then you get the information that's being omitted in the West because we're being sold one way, and then what's actually happening or more of the truth is being sold there. So I would advise you do some research on your own, and that's how you become politically mature, and that's how you can have a geopolitical discussion when you have an understanding of these things. So this emotional reaction to people critiquing Donald Trump and thinking, oh, well, if you have a gripe with something he's doing, that somehow you disregard everything he's done. I like most of the things Donald Trump has done so far. But when I don't agree, I don't agree. Like I didn't agree on the farmer thing. We'll talk about that in a moment. So when you don't agree, don't be a pussy. Speak up. Don't be a political chump. Speak up. You got to think of it. You hired Donald Trump to do a job. This is not Celebrity Apprentice. This is not the billionaire mogul writing books and the art of the deal. This is not no 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 no. That's celebrity Trump. This is your president. It's a different conversation. It's a different approach. So this whole fandom, we're gonna love you, love you, love you, and not hold you accountable. No, 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 no. That's what fans of musicians and actors and other entertainers do when they have their fan pages where they're like, "Oh my god, everything this person does is great. Oh my god." And then you disregard any wrong they may have done and you act like you didn't see it or you try to spin it. No, no, no. There's no spinning this, Donald Trump. This was part of what you ran on. So we're going to hold you accountable. And holding you accountable doesn't mean you're no longer supported. It just means you need to pay attention. Like you paid attention on the farmer stuff. Yeah, the illegal immigration stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a lot of great stuff coming out of this administration, but this could be a game changer. And this shouldn't divide like you could have difference of opinions on it, but be able to be disagreeable and coherent. Don't be like Laura Loomer and others like her, where it's like this fanatical approach to supporting Trump. Oh my God, it's Trump, everything is amazing. No, everything shouldn't be amazing. If you have no critiques and you ain't got no gripes, then you're a fan. And you're in a cult, and that's a bit dangerous. Oh, that's a lot of dangerous. So this right here, unequivocally bullshit. I didn't know that Israel was on the brink of a civil war. I didn't know that till I went and read. I didn't know Bibi Netanyahu. Hey, look at my first name that I said. Bibi Netanyahu was redefining Israel's constitution. Hmm. And so then the October 7th attacks happened because he's under all these investigations, and there are a lot of people there who are not happy with everything. There's a lot of corruption allegedly and things of that nature. But when you're covering up everything, it's like, oh, we didn't know about that in the West. No, we don't know about it in the West because it's not being reported here. So this is why I don't have a blind loyalty to stuff, especially stuff that I don't really know about. And even if I do know, it's not America first. Jumping in a war with Israel to fight Iran for Israel's interest is not America first. Let's be clear. America first is getting our troops out of that region, getting our civilians out of that region. Y'all handle y'all business. Ain't got nothing to do with us. We're not gonna come over here, baiting Iran with planes in the sky. Hey, and then God forbid, they strike one of those planes. Oh, now it's on and popping. Now we got to get involved, but we should have never been there to begin with. Weapons of mass destruction 2.0. Because I believe if there were weapons of mass destruction, Tulsi Gabbard would know, wouldn't she? Wouldn't she know that they were building? I think she would know. That's her job. That's an integral part of her job as a director of national intelligence. That is that's part of what she does. So now you're disregarding her. And now we're considering strikes. No. I would like to see JD Vance spin his way out of this in 2028 because I don't get it. And JD had a it was a very diplomatic response. It was a very how do you say yeah, I have to be kind to my boss, but I may have some opinions that he don't like, but I can't say it right now because he's my boss. That's kind of what it felt like. That's kind of what it felt like. And hold on. I'm back. Hopefully you couldn't read lips. So yeah, this is not a good look, Trump. This was part of the bedrock of what you ran on. So peace through strength is not sending us into a war zone, sending our troops into a war zone to fight a war we have no business being in over something we know is not there. So I don't agree. I don't like it. Change course. You better backpedal, remix, and moonwalk right the hell on out of this, because it will be political disaster for the Republican Party. It'll be a political disaster for 2028 and probably for the midterms as well. So I would offer you pull out and allow Israel. Shut up. Allow Israel and Iran to fight their war and do whatever they do. But these regime change wars never end well. Syria, anybody? Iraq, anybody? It never works. We're good. We don't need to spend another 30 years in a country trying to stabilize it. We're good. Iran, do what you need to do. Israel, do what you need to do. Hold me like the River Jordan. I like the part I do like in this is him calling for an absolute end to this mess. I get that part. But we don't have to actually fight the war to advocate for that and to negotiate. So it is what it is. And if you think we don't have sleeper cells in this country just waiting to be activated, we do. You think only Mexicans came through that border when those millions and millions of people were coming through? Yeah, millions and millions and millions of people were coming through. You think they were all just migrants who wanted to pick strawberries? Oh, okay. Yeah, you keep believing that. Anyway, so this is actually going to premiere. This episode of Tucker Carlson is going to premiere at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we won't have the full episode in time, obviously, because we're live at noon Eastern Standard Time. But this exchange, this clip that Tucker Carlson shared between him and Ted Cruz on this issue is very, very telling. Take a look.
How many people live in Iran, by the way?
I don't know the population.
At all?
No, I don't know the population.
You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple?
How many people live in Iran?
92 million.
Okay. Yeah,
How could you not know that?
I don't sit around memorizing population tables.
Well, it's kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government.
Why is it relevant whether it's 90 million or 80 million or 100 million? Why is that relevant?
Because if you don't know anything about the country...
I didn't say I don't know anything about
Okay, what's the ethnic mix of Iran?
They are Persians and
what
predominantly Shia. Okay, this is cute.
It's not even... You don't know anything about Iran. So
okay, I am not the Tucker Carlson expert on Iran.
You're a senator who's calling for the overthrow of the government.
You're the one who
don't know anything about the country.
No, you don't know anything about the country. You're the one who claims they're not trying to murder Donald Trump. You're the one who can't figure out if it was a good idea to kill General Soleimani, and you said it was bad.
You don't believe they're trying to murder Trump.
Yes, I do.
Because you're not calling for military strikes against them in retaliation. And if you really believe that...
We're carrying out military strikes today.
You said Israel was.
Right, with our help. I said we. Israel is leading them, but we're supporting them.
Well, you're breaking news here because the U.S. government last night denied, the National Security Council spokesman Alex Pfeiffer denied on behalf of Trump that we were acting on Israel's behalf in any offensive capacity.
No, we're not bombing them. Israel's bombing them.
You just said we were.
We are supporting Israel.
High stakes. You're a senator. If you're saying the United States government is at war with Iran right now, people are listening.
Okay.
Senator Cruz, you got some explaining to do. I will be tuned in at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe it's on X, right? I believe it's X. Anyway, this is what we're talking about. You're going to talk to Tucker Carlson, he's no longer in corporate media. This is independent Tucker Carlson. So he's going to say it like he means it. He's going to say what it is. He's not going to remix it, zip it, and reverse it. Yeah. No. He's going to say, yo, how are you advocating to overthrow a government of a country? You don't know anything about the country. You don't know the makeup. You don't know how many people live there. Nothing. This is kind of, this reminds me of when the Republican presidential debates were going on, and Vivek Ramaswamy sat there and challenged, what was her name? What was the woman? What was her name? For South Carolina. Anyway, um, Haley, Nikki Haley. Yes, 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 yes. Challenged Nikki Haley and the fat guy from New Jersey and everyone else on the stage. And then yeah, we gotta help Ukraine. And he's like, name a province in Ukraine. We gotta help Ukraine, but you don't even know the makeup of the country. That's very interesting. So yeah, catching these people out there in their bull, because we only know that Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz and all these other warmongers who are still serving in the Congress are out there because now they're they're salivating. Money, 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 money. It's time to get paid, y'all. No. He don't give a damn about the civilians in Iran. He don't give a damn about them people. Religious beliefs aside, whatever, I don't care. They ain't got nothing to do with it. Wrong is wrong and right is right. Like Tucker said, if this was about an assassination or wanting Trump's head on a platter, why are we not attacking for that reason? We're not attacking for that reason. That's not what's being communicated to us. And then you're going to say, oh, and then he tried to clean that up. Yeah, we're not doing the strikes. We're helping Israel. And then Tucker's like, well, that's breaking news. Because that's not what's being said to the American public, to us. So now you up here tripping on your words. You should have been better prepared before you sat in front of Tucker Carlson. That's like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens. You can't sit in front of them and be like, I'm just going to go talk to them. No. If you're going to go talk to them about stuff that they're passionate about, like war, like gender identity, you better be damn prepared. Oh, he's in the principal's office right now as we speak. They gonna get home and like you can't be out there just talking off the cuff. This independent media is what it is. Independent media, meaning they don't give a damn if you get mad. They don't care. They're gonna ask you the actual questions that Fox News won't ask you, that CNN won't ask you. They're gonna ask you those questions because they know you're full of. They know. They know you're gonna lie. And you tried to lie, and then you tried to wiggle your way out of it, and then you tried to remix it right back on Tucker that he doesn't know what he's talking about. Clearly, Tucker knows what he's talking about. He's asking you the damn questions, and you don't have the answers. He's answering the questions that that he's asking you. He's answering his own questions. So no, we don't need this is not part of the plan. So I don't want to hear anything about this war is necessary or Iran is going to attack. That's the bullshit they sell us to get us to buy in. This is how they got us to buy into the weapons of mass destruction lie back when Bush was president. They knew there were no weapons of mass destruction. Iraq didn't even attack us on 9/11. The hell are we doing? So no. Our troops should not be in the sky, on the ground. There shouldn't even be talks of a strike from the US. This is ridiculous. I never thought Trump would annoy me this much. Again, you can critique your leaders, especially the ones you've appointed. Yeah. You earned half of America's vote. The least you can do is honor it. And so on this issue, which was a bedrock in your campaign, honor the damn issue. Peace through strength. Not peace through helping, not war by helping Israel, who's corrupt as hell, who's going through a whole bunch of issues with their own constitution and their own leader. We don't have time for it right now. So whatever love affair that U.S. presidents have with the leader of Israel, we don't care. You know, we've noticed the radicalization of the Zionists when they come in here and try to circumvent our First Amendment through the federal government. Excuse me? That's not how that works. You don't have to like what's being said on college campuses, but you don't get to tell people they can't talk about it. They can't question things about history. Yes, you can. You can question any damn thing you want. If I want to question the Holocaust, that's my prerogative to question it. It's your, if you feel that, if you get such a rise out of that, you should be able to push back with facts and evidence to prove me wrong. And once you produce the facts and evidence to prove me wrong, I can then say that the argument has been made. I can't argue with that. I can't push back on that. But to sit here with this hyper emotional and everything, and then this working definition of anti-Semitism that just, the list just keeps getting longer and longer. Before you know, we won't even be able to say Jewish. Hell, they took Conservative Ant's account yesterday on TikTok for talking about Israel. Now, I just dropped a video with parts mentioning Israel, so let's pray I have an account by the end of the day. But nah, this corruption, the stuff that's being hidden from the Western, us in the West, to justify what's going on in the East. No. We're good. This radical Zionism, we don't care. We know that on October 6th, there were some major issues with the IDF. The IDF, if from what I've watched, because I've never been to Israel, but from what I was told, pretty much in Israel, every few feet you see somebody with an AR or some kind of automatic weapon ready to go, part of the IDF. So now all of a sudden, the day Hamas attacks, there's nothing done for 2 hours? Huh? We got questions, people. We got questions. This is why Bibi Netanyahu is so unfavorable over there. This is why the people of Israel want him gone. So again, this has nothing to do with the people of Iran. This has nothing to do with the people of Israel. This has everything to do with the government of those countries. And the United States should stay the hell out. Cool? Gotcha. So, on to something that Trump is doing right. Oh gosh, we got some good news. No bad news. No bad news. Anyway, don't nobody bring me no bad news. Watch The Wiz if you don't know what it is. Anyway, so Trump remixed it, flipped it, and reversed it on the immigration raids on farms, meat packing plants, restaurants, and hotels. Because remember, at first he was going to halt that because it was going to hurt the industries, and everyone was like, nah, no. These industries are abusing people. They're using cheap labor, aka modern day slavery, and this has to stop. You saw the farmer in Florida. Oh my God, most of my staff is gone. You voted for Trump. He ran on this. Why are you shocked? You thought your farm was going to be exempt because you voted for Trump? What the hell are people thinking when they do things? Okay, if I want to keep my illegal immigrants here, then maybe I should vote for Kamala. But Trump said, you got to go. You got to go. All right, so let's roll a little bit of this Trump remixing it, flipping it, and reversing it.
It was just days ago that President Trump signaled a change in the administration's stance on immigration raids at work, saying publicly that going after long-term employees at hotels, farms, and restaurants wasn't the goal.
Well, now there's been another change. The White House is again promising mass deportations. Yes. NBC7's political reporter Joey Savchik is downtown this afternoon with the latest developments on a shifting policy. Joey.
Yeah, we're told San Diego has yet to see any extraordinary raids on hotels, which are the backbone of our city's tourism economy and rely heavily upon an immigrant workforce. But now immigration officials once again have the go-ahead to pursue actions, enforcement on hotels, farms, and restaurants.
Yep, let's go.
An apparent about-face from the White House, leaving immigrant laborers wondering whether it's safe to go to work, as the president reiterates his desire to conduct the, quote, single largest mass deportation program in history.
I think if workers are still in jeopardy when they go to their kids' school or when they go to houses of worship or stores, that there is no safety even if they're not coming to their workplaces.
Late last week, the president posting on Truth Social that his, quote, very aggressive policy on immigration had repercussions for some industries that were not good. That leading to a policy shift. Agents were not to conduct raids at farms, hotels, and restaurants. The president reinforced that softer stance during a news conference.
Our farmers are being hurt badly by, they have very good workers. They've worked for them for 20 years. They're not citizens, but they've turned out to be, great. And we're going to have to do something about that. We can't take farmers and take all their people and send them back because they don't have maybe what they're supposed to have, maybe not.
But that reprieve was short-lived. The Department of Homeland Security is walking it back as of Monday, mandating ICE must continue conducting raids at those workplaces, saying, quote, there will be no safe spaces for industries who harbor violent criminals or purposely try to undermine ICE's efforts. Governor Gavin Newsom reacting on X Tuesday, saying, quote, Trump got big-footed by his own staff.
Unfortunately, most of these workers are not wealthy, so it's not like they can just not go to work. They have to pay rent, they have to buy foods.
Bridget Browning is the president of the San Diego and Imperial Counties Labor Council. She feared the president's change of tune was fickle from the start, given the administration's goal of 3,000 ICE arrests each day, up from about 650 a day in the first 5 months of his second term.
I could never have imagined a time in our country where people aren't safe to just go to the store to buy something that they need for their house.
Yes. Oh, the trauma. We can stop
and another full.
Oh, the trauma. First of all, you're making it seem like if you're here the right way, if you're doing it the right way, then we ain't got no issue with you. So I don't understand what we crying about, Argentina. The truth is I never left you. All of my wild days, my mad existence. I kept my promise. Don't keep your distance. Yeah, you got a little musical theater there. Shut up. I just want to do it. We're bored. The days of cheap labor so you can have more on the top end is over. Pay Americans to do these jobs. Pay the Americans the money they're demanding. Why? Because the cost of living in America ain't cheap. So do you expect somebody to give you 40, 50 hours of their week and they still can't pay their bills? No. Pay people what they need to survive. But no. You don't want to do things like pay for health insurance. You don't want to do things like overtime and give people a wage. No. If someone's giving you 40, 50 hours of their week, they should demand a livable wage, and you should be able to meet that demand. Yeah. We're tired. And also this exploiting of people who can't fight back. They can't fight for a livable wage. They can't fight for more money. You could have these people working for you for 20 years and barely give them 2 raises, if that. Or you just rotate them out. So this whole notion that, oh, you care about the immigrants. If you cared about the immigrants, why didn't you create a pathway to citizenship for them? Why didn't you advocate for that? They've been there 20, 25 years and nobody ever thought, okay, maybe we should get you documented so there ain't no issues in the future. Nobody thought of that? Nobody thought, no, because you want to keep paying them $3. That's why. You didn't care about that. Yeah, I'll just, slip him, a little $300, and then I'll keep the lion's share of the money. The jig is up. It's over. So all you people, oh, Americans don't want those jobs. Americans don't know these damn jobs are here. So y'all pull these stunts on these studies, right? Oh, Americans don't want these jobs. Meanwhile, you're not advertising it to Americans. Yeah. There are Americans who would do those jobs. Y'all ain't looking for them because you got to pay them, and you got to pay their health insurance. You don't want to do that. It's more costly to hire an American, and it should be. It should be. As long as the rent is $3,000 for a 1-bedroom, yeah. If you want 40 hours of my week, make it worth my while. Yeah. I shouldn't have to live in the slums because I work on a farm or because I work at a hotel or in a restaurant. Yeah. Exploiting people. That's not American. We off that. Those days are over. If you want it done, do it right. I don't feel sorry for you. And yes, your business should suffer. You should suffer during your peak season because the summer is the peak season for restaurants and hotels. Yeah, you should suffer. You should. The moment they said President-elect Donald Trump, you should have had a game plan ready to go. All right, because we know these people may not be legal. And if they're not, we got to figure this out. What's the game plan after that? Because you got to turn these rooms. You got to turn these tables, right? And if you don't have the manpower, you can't get it done. Hire Americans, pay them a wage. Bring high school students in. It's the summertime. High school students need a summer job. College students need a summer job. Yeah, there are ways around this. And then while they're working in the summer for those 8 weeks, you can start building up to hire people for the fall who could work throughout the year. Be solutionary about this, not emotional, solutionary. The law is the law. You can't break into a country and then expect the country not to say, hey, you didn't do it the right way. Get out. Millions of immigrants did it the right way, paid the fees, waited the years, did what they had to do. You don't get any special treatment. You got to go back and do it the right way. Yeah, you may be a great person. I'm sure you're a lovely person. You still got to do it the right way. And it's not just for America's benefit, it's for your benefit as well. Now, once you're documented and you're really paying taxes, because they try to act like, oh, these illegals come here and they go to the office to say, I'm illegal, give me a what is it, IT-10 number or whatever the hell it's called. No, most of them don't do that. We know that. So that's some tax revenue we could use as well. And if you hire Americans, that's more tax revenue too, isn't it? Okay, cool. So it's a win-win all around. Then you can come back and demand the salary you want. Yeah, let's go. Why didn't these farmers and these restaurants and these hotels step up as sponsors? If you care so much about these people being citizens, I get your mess. Why don't y'all step up to sponsor your employees? See how I created all these solutions, and I'm not even in any of these industries. I done created a whole bunch of solutions for y'all. Do it the right way. Summer 2025 gonna be a little stressful, but y'all gonna get it done. Adios, amigos. See you when you do it the right way. So moving on, Robert Kelly, Aura Kelly is back in the news, being Robert. I always gotta say it like Gayle King. Robert. Apparently, the trauma of an overdose. Oh, Lord. R. Kelly rushed to hospital after overdose, claims prison officials gave him near lethal dose of meds. Oh my God, can we close these ads? Thank you. R. Kelly now claims he suffered an overdose requiring immediate medical attention after taking pills given to him by staff while in solitary confinement. How they try to take you out in solitary confinement? Now I can see if you was in general population, which is probably why you're in solitary, because they was probably trying to kill you there. All right, we can just read the need to know. R. Kelly claims in a third supplement to an emergency motion seeking his release that prison officials gave him a near lethal dose of medication while he was in solitary confinement. Okay, we have to prove that. The singer and his lawyer, Bo Brindley, are hoping Kelly will be granted a temporary furlough and allowed to serve house arrest due to threats on his life while in prison. Bro, you was fucking young girls. Yeah, your life is in danger in prison. Welcome to consequences, America. You're out here sexually assaulted. And to the black people still defending this man, most of his victims were black women. One being a very famous woman named Aaliyah, who's not here to speak for herself or to speak up. Yeah, I had a whole Surviving R. Kelly series. I think there was 3 parts to that series or 3 seasons. All these women can't be lying. All these women can't be telling half truths or no truths. No. So that's why they want your head on a platter in prison. You out here violating children, young teenagers, using your wealth and your power as a weapon. You married a 15-year-old Aaliyah when you were 28 years old, bro. We don't care. Off with his head. Assistant U.S. Attorney Jason Julian said in a court filing that he believes placing Kelly in solitary confinement shows that the prison officials are trying to protect the singer. Yeah. So you would have to prove that they gave you the overdose, or did he collect the pills, say he was taking them, and then took a whole massive dose? Like, what happened? R. Kelly spent 2 days at a North Carolina medical facility over the weekend after he claimed he suffered an overdose from medications provided by prison employees. Bureau of Prisons administered an amount of medication that significantly exceeded a safe dose and caused Mr. Kelly to overdose, putting his life in jeopardy, reads the third supplement to his emergency motion seeking release from prison early due to fears for his safety. Kelly takes medication for anxiety and to help him sleep in addition to other medications. Oh shit, you can get Xanax in prison? And you miss so much. He allegedly showed his medications to prison officials when he was placed in solitary confinement last week, a move his lawyer claims was meant to punish him for filing the emergency motion. No, you were placed there because them other prisoners were going to take your head off. I'm surprised he survived this long. Kelly's lawyer also said that the alleged overdose happened almost immediately after he spoke publicly about the singer being kept in solitary confinement. The third supplement also claims that doctors informed Kelly he had blood clots in his legs and lungs that required surgery, but prison officials refused to help him undergo that procedure because it required a week of recovery. Robert is trying to get out of prison. Mr. Kelly's life is in jeopardy right now because of the Bureau of Prisons denied him necessary surgery to clear clots from his lungs. A supplement says he could die from this condition, and they are letting it happen. There is no legitimate explanation for that. You got to prove all this. Just all of this salaciousness, you know. Kelly's lawyer, Bo Brindley, tells people the incident occurred on June 13th when Kelly woke up in solitary confinement at the Federal Correction Institute in Butner, North Carolina. He felt faint. He was dizzy. He started to see black spots in his vision, Brindley explains. Kelly then struggled to get on his feet, says Brindley, and being unable to work, he crawled to the door of the cell and lost consciousness. Robert, I don't feel sorry for you, Robert. I would like to feel sorry for you, Robert, but I don't feel sorry for you, Robert. This is what happens when you use your wealth and your fame for evil. You walk the street. This man urinated on a little girl, filmed it. This video was sold around like it was Mary Poppins. And he still was acquitted. Mostly because I believe the girl in the video refused to testify. I believe that was one of the primary sticking points there. But how do you watch that and say this is a person who should be in civilized society? I never watched it, but I just saw that one clip that they kept looping on the news. Because technically, if you watch that, aren't you? I'm gonna leave that alone. We're good on this. Robert. I mean, am I wrong? Am I wrong here? I mean, like, I really feel like people who still support this man. Why? People who still think this man deserves to be out in society. You think he's going to get out and be an upstanding citizen? He couldn't do it for 30-something years. All of a sudden, he's going to get out and be a changed man. I'm a changed man. No. In fact, he might even have some pent-up energy. And he might be worse. Okay, you can let him out under one condition. You castrate him. That would be my condition if I was the state. Castrate him. We could put him out on parole. On house arrest. Yeah, we can give him a compassionate release. Yeah, if he's castrated. For your freedom, I want your prostate. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Robert. Anyway, moving on. So Tyler Perry is being sued. Hold on, let me grab the whole situation here. Robert. Right, here we go. Oh, Prince, can you put it up on the screen? Or no? Oh, there. Oh no, I don't like it like that. Pause. Yeah, baby, I like it like that. Not the advertisement, bro. I gotta figure out how these other YouTubers do this. They don't be having ads coming up. Anyway, Tyler Perry sued for sexual assault. Oval actor claims years of harassment and more. Tyler Perry is facing an accusation of sexual assault, a claim coming from an actor on his long-running TV show, The Oval, and one of Tyler's camp calls a scam. TMZ has learned. It's always a scam. Derek Dixon filed a lawsuit against Tyler Perry, and in docs, he claims he and the director met at an event back in 2019. In Derek's words, Tyler picked him out of the crowd and asked for his phone number, suggesting he might have a role for him. Isn't that always how it turns out? Oh, and as it turns out, he did. Derek says Tyler gave him a small role in 2 episodes of a show called Ruthless, which I've never heard of or seen. Then in January 2020, Derek says Tyler invited him to his Atlanta home, and he accepted, hoping to build a friendship that would lead to more acting gigs. But according to the suit, while there, Derek drank too much and ended up sleeping in a guest room. Okay, we'll get there in a minute. In the docs obtained by TMZ, Derek claims Tyler got into the bed with him and started touching his thighs. And although he rejected the advances that night, he claims Tyler remained interested. Shortly thereafter, Derek says he landed the role of Dale in The Oval. Great for his career, but he claims it was around that time that Tyler also started firing off sexually suggestive texts, including asking what Drew's sexual preferences were and telling him he had sex with men. Derek also notes his character Dale was written as gay, homeless, and a desperate store clerk who had to sleep with other characters for a place to stay. He claims that's exactly what Tyler told him he was looking for in a real-life sexual partner, someone who would be loyal and dependent upon Tyler. Derek says he feared for his career. He says he feared his career would be derailed if he flatly rejected Tyler. So instead, he told him he wasn't the sexual type. Now he's asexual. But he was also terrified he'd lose his job if he complained of sexual harassment. To that point, he says Tyler once again invited him to his Atlanta home and so you went back? You went back. And things allegedly took a dark turn. Oh, you thought it was going to get better? Did Derek really think it was going to get better? Okay, whatever. It's easy to Monday morning quarterback. I understand when you're in the thick of it. Derek claims Perry greeted him warmly, but quickly started a sexually charged conversation, like asking him if he likes it rough in bed, and then grabbed Derek by the throat while saying, "Look how excited you just got me." He says he pushed Tyler away. And that was the end of the alleged incident. The lawsuit includes years of text messages allegedly sent between both men. Most of the ones Tyler allegedly sent are sexually charged. For instance, one reads, "No straight man would be going on walks with you or cooking dinner for you unless they wanted to fuck you. I would fuck you." Wow. The most aggressive incident allegedly went down. He went back for a third time. June 2021. Again at Tyler's home, Dixon was staying in the guest house and wearing only his underwear. So you done been harassed by this man twice. And you in the house with your drawers, when he says Tyler came in to give him a good a good night hug. He alleges Tyler yanked down his underwear and groped his butt and said, "Relax and just let it happen." And I assured him it wasn't going to hurt. Dixon said he managed to rebuff this advance by changing the subject. According to the suit, Dixon finally filed a complaint with the Equal so he finally filed a complaint with the Equal Employment and Opportunity Commission in June 2024, then quit the Oval, saying he could no longer put up with the alleged sexual harassment. Dixon is suing Tyler Perry Studios for quid pro quo and workplace sexual harassment and sexual assault and battery, and he's seeking $260 million in damages. Tyler Perry's attorney, Matthew Boyd, tells us this is an individual who got close to Tyler Perry for what now appears to be nothing more than setting up a scam, but Tyler will not be shaken down, and we are confident these fabricated claims of harassment will fail. Listen, I'm sitting here on this podcast show, whatever you want to call it, because I didn't go back to the house. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me you went back 3 times? And I understand it's a power dynamic. I get it. You're a fledgling actor. He met you at some random party where you was part of the staff working the party. And here's a man who has billions and he gives you the opportunity of a lifetime. I get it. But why did it take you so long to file the first complaint? 2024? So you mean from 2020? What was it? 2020, 2021? I get it, but I need more. I need more because I can't say Tyler. But here's the thing: people like Tyler abuse their power all the time. I could tell you stories, but I ain't gonna tell you right now because we ain't got no time. But this is very Hollywood. This is classic Hollywood. I don't care if Hollywood is if your studio is in Atlanta, if your studio is in Los Angeles or Canada. I don't care. It's all the same. You have a bunch of broken, money hungry people who will use their power and influence like a weapon. Mm-hmm. Now, do I think Tyler Perry is any exception? No. Look how he treated Monique. He wasn't trying to fuck her. So look how he treated her. How you win an Oscar and you never appear in another movie again? Another Oscar-worthy movie again. How does that happen? Because Monique wouldn't do what they wanted her to do. She wasn't going to work for free. She wasn't going to be wheeled and dealed and abused. You was going to pay Monique her worth or she wasn't going to show up. So you have this actor plucked out of obscurity, gets an opportunity to act and perform and do what I'm sure he wanted to do his whole life, was perform and be a series regular, because that's what you strive to be when you go to Hollywood to act on especially television. You strive to be a series regular. Those are the people, the top people in the show, right? That's not the guest stars and all that. Those are the people who you got a parking spot in the studio. They got your name on it. Oh, it's real pretty. It's real nice. But at what cost? At what cost? It's absolutely absurd that people can still get away with stuff like this. But here we go. This is the exposure of it. And I need people to speak up right when it happens. Because people do give you side eye when you wait years. Mind you, this wasn't that long in the past. It wasn't like it happened in the 80s. But when you give it 4 years and you still continue to work and you went to the man's house 3 times and the third time you was in your drawers, we're going to give you a little side eye. Because first of all, the first time I was in that guest house, I would have locked the door. And if the door couldn't lock, I would have been like, you got power? Can we get a lock on this door? And then the moment he climbed in bed with you the first time, why didn't you go file a complaint then? I'm not coming back to be abused 2 and 3 and 4 times. I'm sorry, I'm just not doing it. That's why I'm sitting here building AJ's rant room when I could have been on a tour somewhere. But I want to leave LA with a virgin asshole. Come on, Cat Williams. All right. We'll keep you posted on that story. Now, our favorite governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, she wants to dole out $50 million in taxpayer money for illegals to have legal representation. Take a look.
That's why the state of New York is providing $50 million to cover legal services for people who are finding themselves in this situation.
Girl, you done bumped your head. New Yorkers, y'all not tired of this? Y'all not tired? I'm tired for you. Subways are still shit. Every weekend there's massive construction projects, and I'm pretty sure they're worse at this point. Fares continue to go up. The quality of the service doesn't. Streets are terrible. Potholes everywhere. Congestion out the ass. Now they want to charge you a congestion tax to drive in Manhattan. Yeah, Cost of living is through the roof. You got to make 5 billion times the rent to live alone. And y'all not tired yet? 50 million of your tax dollars. So Jose could have a lawyer in immigration court. That's not the responsibility of the state. That's the responsibility of Jose when he climbed that fucking barbed wire. They got nothing to do with us. Are you handing out lawyers for American citizens? No. You get a public defender, which is shitty usually. So why they get Matlock and I got to settle for a public defender if I can't afford an attorney? New York, I don't know when she's up, but if y'all reelect this woman, y'all are officially the stupidest state in the union. The dumbest state in the union. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get New York and California. I don't get the politics. I don't get why people do what they do. It is a whole lot of silly stuff, a whole lot of malarkey. Whew. So glad it's over. Not the show, but New York, New York City. All right. So tomorrow's Juneteenth. We will have a Juneteenth show. And I will break down how we have politicized Juneteenth and we have turned it into a Marxist, leftist hellhole instead of an actual celebratory moment in our nation's history. So tune in tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be back tomorrow. Hope you had a great lunch with me. I appreciate you. And we will catch y'all, Mayana. Peace out.